Marriage tips I wish I knew before I got married, part 2. If you are married or planning to get married, you need to know this tip right here. If before you got married, you had a BFF, a best friend, or whatever you want to call him or her, and they are the opposite sex, you need to probably get rid of them. A best friend of the opposite sex is a huge problem for your marriage. Let me tell you why. Because this best friend knows probably everything about you. And you'll probably get to the place where you start comparing this best friend to your wife or to your husband, right? There's a certain type of relationship that you have with them. You've known them for years, right? You probably didn't date them. In some cases, people have dated their quote unquote BFFs. And if you have, you need to get rid of him or her because they're going to be toxic to your marriage. Right. First of all, your spouse is going to feel intimidated by them because they are the opposite sex. So when things go wrong in your relationship or your marriage, you're going to have a tendency to want to pick up the phone. You're going to want to call them and explain to them what's happening. You might want to still try to hang out with them. But remember, when you get married to your spouse, the goal here is for you and your spouse to now become best friends. So if this person is your BFF, you need to start to make the transition now, sooner than later, and start to learn how to develop a healthy friendship with your spouse. Because if you don't do that, right, you're going to find yourself in a position where you and your spouse are constantly having arguments, disagreements about this friend. Let me tell you, your friends that you had before you got married, most of them can become your enemies. So if they can't understand that you are married now and they can no longer have the same type of relationship with you, then you definitely need to let them go. Because, you have to set boundaries, and whatever your husband or your wife is not comfortable with, it doesn't matter. Yes, they are jealous. They're supposed to be jealous, right? Because they're your spouse. You guys are one now. So it's normal for your spouse to be jealous over the opposite sex, right? I'm jealous of my wife having a friend. She's jealous of me having a friend. It's completely normal to be jealous over the opposite sex because that person is a threat to your marriage, whether you know it or not. So let them go now.